Welcome to the Decision Theater. In a few minutes, I want to explain to you what we do at this fantastic facility in Arizona State University. We've been in existence about 15 years, and where you are today is known as the Decision Theater Drum. This is one of many such facilities that we have in the Decision Theater network, and our objective is to empower decision makers, especially those who are making big policy decisions, to provide them with tools so they can arrive at very important and meaningful decisions on their own. And the way we do that is by integrating several pieces of information that share different multidisciplinary perspectives and have that presented in a convening fashion like you see in this drum, so that policymakers have a holistic understanding of the problem at hand and can arrive at the decision from a very meaningful manner. In a quick moment, I want to just show you some of our capabilities. We operate at 3 tiers as shown in this first screen. The topmost tier is about mapping the entire problem landscape, which means that what are all the different interrelated systems that are in play to address the problem. The next one is to develop the process to have a narrative brought in that can then meaningfully express these perspectives. And then finally, the third step is to have a participatory process of engagement with the stakeholders. This is very important to understand that it cannot happen without collaboration. And in our terms, collaboration means collaborating with subject matter experts, which we have many at ASU in every field possible, and the stakeholders that are the policymakers that have to make these important decisions. And we end up becoming the glue between the subject matter experts and the stakeholders. It is important to understand that we have to have a really good understanding of what data means, how data is available today, what assumptions need to be made for the pieces of data that are missing, and how this can all be cleaned up before it goes into modeling of the phenomenon that need to be presented to the stakeholders. And then once we have done that, we go into analytics, which is creating these what-if scenarios. What if I change this parameter? What is the effect on something that we would never have thought of could be affected? Because now we are bringing in multiple perspectives that are going to be presented for the same problem. So each perspective can have a different influence on a specific parameter. And that's what analytics is all about. It is not only just what exists today and what the current scenario looks like with data available today, but also forecasting what could happen down the road into the future. Finally, we have the decision-making process, which is the convening facility, and we have experts in team science and decision science that inform the project on how best to present this to the stakeholders. And that is a core competency of the decision theater. And all of this is then presented by innovative and interactive visualization techniques that help stakeholders intuitively arrive upon the what-if scenario planning. And that is a key final component of what we do at the Decision Theater. We have a few collaborators that include several universities, foundations, federal and state department organizations. So our scope of work is spread across the different domains, and we are not specific to any domain. We like to take any problem at hand and bring about this process, this 3-tier process that I just explained, to help policymakers in any area come to good, meaningful decision making. Okay, so now I want to take a minute of your time to demonstrate one of our projects that showcase everything I just mentioned to you about the Decision Theater environment in this presentation video. So here we have a project that we did for the Arizona Treasury, Department of Treasury, where we were in a problem situation a few years ago where we were facing a huge deficit. And we needed to arrive upon some meaningful ways to understand what areas to cut to make up for that deficit. So if you can see here, we have over $1 billion of deficit that we needed to cut. And in these screens behind me are some of the big ticket departments like Department of Education, universities, Department of Corrections, Department of Health Services, Department of Economic Security, and Department of Child Safety. Now, these represents the several different lenses that this problem presents that share their own unique challenges that are known only to them. Now, what the Decision Theater does is it provides a convening facility for all of these different stakeholders from these different diverse areas to come together and discuss in a combined manner what some of these effects can be when we start cutting money for their departments. To give you just one small example, as there can be many what-if scenarios that can happen here, if we were to just do a 20% across the board reduction, you will see that not much gets cut from the Department of Education because of laws in place that prohibit funds from being protected, right? So these funds are protected, so they cannot be cut no matter how much you want to. Whereas there are no protection available to universities, so you will see that you can get a significant amount of reduction here, but it comes at a cost. We would have to increase tuition by some amount of dollars, we would have to lay some faculty, we would have to force early retirements. So these are some consequences that then you as a stakeholder, as a policymaker, would have to decide what is best for your constituents. Again, you can see that you can get a lot from the Department of Corrections by forcing the 20% cut. However, it will amount to having to release some number of prisoners before their time is due, and also to have some personnel in these facilities be laid off. And so where do you go, with this kind of a situation? Where do you what your values are as a policyholder? Then help determine what kind of decisions you want to make. And what the Decision Theater does is it provides you with the endless possibilities that you as a policymaker can make. And we do this all by creating an integrated environment that takes in all the different multiple perspectives and connects them together. And any change that you make as a policymaker, you're able to see the results of that within 7 seconds as we run this in our high-performance computing environment. And all of our technology is running on internet browsers. So not only do you have the ability to be here in this convening manner, but you also have the ability to open this up anywhere where you have a high-speed internet. So that's the power of the hardware and the software architecture that we have in place as the Decision Theater Network, and I hope I was able to provide you with a good understanding of what the Decision Theater is and how our processes manifest in a real-world problem project that I've just demonstrated. Once again, my name is Ashish Amrish. I'm a research scientist here at the Decision Theater, and I hope you had a good productive time watching this video.